Hello everyone and welcome back to Oxventure Presents Blades in the Dark. I'm Luke, I'm the GM, and I'm joined this week by Barnaby and Zillah. Wow, look at them there.
Hello.
Hi. We're back.
Hi Barnaby and Zillah. It's so lovely to see you both again.
And you, old bean.
And you, sentient force of nature.
And you, the voice inside my head.
I find this part the most challenging when it's supposed to be in character but also interacting in a non-in-character way with the GM.
Yeah.
Very
All right, well then let's quickly breeze on.
Let the masks descend.
Here we go. Welcome, descend into the Imaginarium with me. Hold my hands. Okay, at the end of the last adventure, which didn't feature either of you, there was so much excitement that we forgot to do entanglements. So just to let you know, I rolled it off screen. The crew now has 6 heat.
Whoa,
Is that a lot of heat?
that's hot.
There was a little bit of entanglement regarding Unquiet Dead, so we'll see how that manifests.
Not my preferred type
That's
of
our mess
entanglement.
to clean up now, is it?
Downtime. What have Barnaby and Zillah been doing since last time we saw them? You both each get a downtime action.
Probably drinking.
Would that be drinking to relieve stress?
Yes. Yeah, why not? I don't even know how much. I think I've got 3 stress, actually. Yes.
Oh, well, you're probably all right then.
I was rather stressed last time, so I have been down the old fight club, fighting it up.
Great.
Although, of course, I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Of course.
Rules 1 and 2. Zillah.
Okay, well, roll dice equal to your lowest attribute, and clear stress equal to your highest die result.
Okay.
I think this adventure is going to be a real stressful one, so you might
Okay.
You might
Well,
So
be
use my best
dining.
dice, is what you're saying. Roll
I got
lucky.
I got a 4. Is a 4 good?
Oh, were you doing it as well, Barnaby? You got a 4, and how much stress did you have?
3, so I've
Okay,
overindulged,
that's
right?
very bad. You've overindulged.
Great.
How did you do, Zillah, before we figure out
I was just about to. You carry on. I'll do my roll in a second. I want to know how Barnaby got on first.
Okay, well, I mean, it's difficult to find the right point at which to stop drinking, right? We all
Always.
know this. Okay, if you...
2 drinks. 2 drinks is the time.
Yeah, 1.5. If
2 drinks beyond what you should have been drinking.
Okay, you overindulge. You make a bad call because of your vice in acquiring it or while under its influence. What did you do? Okay, here are your choices. Did you attract trouble? Mm-hmm. Did you brag about your exploits for +2 heat? Did you get lost, which means playing a different character until this one returns from their bender?
Oh no! Whoa!
Well, not
That's
that
hard,
one.
mate.
Not that one. Or were you tapped, where your purveyor of vice cuts you off and you have to find a new source for your vice, which doesn't sound mechanically that bad, so I
No.
will make it bad if you choose it.
Different bar, you say?
Yeah, exactly. Different bar doesn't sound too bad, does it?
I probably got into a bit of trouble, I'd imagine. Maybe someone insulted my family, called
sense.
me a posh
Oh, well.
idiot, which while objectively true, is also deeply hurtful.
Gang trouble or the usual suspects is the entanglement. We've got quite a few entanglements stacking up, so I'm of a mind to resolve that right now. So I'm going to say you got drunk, too drunk, fell out of a bar, and maybe mouthed off to the wrong people, and in an alleyway on the way home, you were punched in the stomach for level 1 harm stomach punch.
Okay.
And they took a coin from you, -1 coin.
How
Level 1
dare
tummy
they.
pain.
Yeah.
Level 1 tummy pain and -1 coin.
Oh.
Okay, how about you, Jane?
Right. So it's a dice equal to my lowest attribute, right?
Yeah, that's right. You do
Okay.
get one more, by the way, Barnaby. Maybe you could do it again.
Why not?
Yeah. Do you want to get punched again? Go for it.
Do I reduce all my stress as part of it?
No, I don't think so. I think if you overindulge, you keep the level of stress.
Bloody hell.
Right. Okay. Well, my lowest attribute, I've only got one. I've only got 1 in because it's everything to the left of the line. Correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a 5.
Okay, great.
Good.
You clear 5 stress.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's good because I was very stressed. So now I am significantly less stressed. So that's good.
I think the best way to deal with a punched tummy is to use nature's anaesthetic, whiskey. So I'm going to go drinking again.
The naturally occurring balm of whiskey.
All right, so we're looking for a 3 or lower.
All right, here we go. That's a 6. I've overindulged again.
All right. You mouth off to the same. on a subsequent night you mouth off to the same people.
I go back to the same bar.
Yeah,
having forgotten what I did last time.
You get punched again, which I guess has to turn this into like level 2 harm.
Oh dear.
No.
Bruised rib, we'll call it, and they're going to take another coin.
This is an unauspicious start to the adventure.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, right, brilliant. So, here's where we find you. Oh, wait, sorry, Zillah. What are you doing with your second downtime activity?
Let's think. Well,
can you heal Barnaby?
That's a great question. Actually, yeah, I'm a pretty dab hand at doing medic stuff, having nursed many a.
I think technically that's not allowed, but I will allow it. I think it's a totally reasonable thing to devote your healing.
Yeah, if I spend my downtime on bandaging up Barnaby's tummy that's been
and I'm
punched
sure
so
I'll be
many times.
extremely gracious about it.
Is your Are there any pieces filled in your healing clock, Barnaby?
There were actually 2 pieces filled in my healing clock.
Now I have a feeling when you take harm, that goes back to nothing. Though.
Sounds about right.
Okay, so Zillah, let's try.
Barnaby's healing clock has reset, has it?
Yeah, so you roll 2 dice, I think, because you've got a cool vet now who.
Barnaby's had his clock
so
cleaned.
I consult our. We've got a vet.
Yeah, you've got a vet.
Like a veteran or a veterinarian?
Veterinarian. That's your that's the gang doctor.
Oh, I see. All right. Well, I consult the gang vet for their transferable skills on healing.
Who is amazed that I only have 2 nipples.
He's never worked with
with so few nipples. And then I rolled.
He's trying to work out how to graft another 4.
All right, I rolled a 2 and a 2. What does that mean?
So you were 2. What? Okay, 1 segment. Fill 1 segment of your healing clock.
Great,
Barnaby. Okay.
Right. We've got a cone on Barnaby.
Maybe Barnaby.
So I don't worry my stitches.
His wounds.
Maybe. Yeah. Barnaby's. So that's where we find you. We find you in Eleanor's house.
Pop the collar up.
Barnaby is scratching at his cone. He won't leave it the heck alone. And Zillah, you and Eleanor are stood in the parlour. You're trying to persuade Barnaby to stop picking at his cone, or else he'll.
I spray him with the water bottle.
It's not seltzer, sorry.
Bad.
Eleanor, meanwhile, is distracted. She's pacing back and forth, and she's clearly very excited. And she says to both of you,
"Could you stop pacing so loudly? I've got a compound hangover."
Oh yes, I'm terribly sorry. Of course.
Thank you.
She kicks off her shoes and pads about in bare feet on the plush carpet, and says, "Listen, I can't believe how much you've all gathered in just a few weeks of investigation. The Brightstone Society for Analytical Alchemistry. We finally have a name for the group we're pursuing. It's incredible. And now we have what is at once the most terrifying revelation and yet incredible opportunity, Barnaby. You're a member of your family is a member. It's you're not a member as well, are you, Barnaby?
Not that I'm aware of, but I mean, honestly...
Can you check your wallet for membership cards?
Yeah, check your wallet.
Just quickly.
Okay.
You find many membership cards, but not one for the Brightstone Society for Analytical Alchemistry, which is lucky.
It's a relief.
Barnaby, this uncle of yours, Uncle Monty, you have to find out more. An incredible source of information this could be. You must talk to Uncle Monty, visit Uncle Monty, at the very least.
Well, it'd be at his country pile in Wizenshire.
Yes, Barnaby, you remember that Uncle Monty is in his country pile in Wizenshire. You remember occasional visits with Uncle Monty from your childhood?
Yeah, we used to summer with Uncle Monty. It was wonderful.
You used to summer with Uncle Monty.
We used to play in the gardens, race the servants around, you know.
On or with the servants?
On. You know, saddles, stirrups, reins, you know. The whole lot.
Of course.
Oh, don't look like that. We give them sugar lumps when they were well behaved. We did have to send that one to the glue factory, though, when it broke its leg.
At least.
To work at the glue factory that my family owned. Don't be so dramatic.
Barnaby, you do remember these wonderful summers with Uncle Monty, but for years now, Uncle Monty has become increasingly reclusive.
Yeah.
That's right. Shunning society life in Volisport and the sort of manor house that you used to play with him in, and spending all of his time in the ancestral seat of House Fortescue, the vast and foreboding Castle Wizenshire, which is nestled in the sparse forests to the east of the city. You've never visited. Your parents spoke of the place in uneasy tones, and now Eleanor is asking you to make contact again with Uncle Monty, a family member you've not spoken to in years.
Well, I'm sure if we just show up, I'm extremely popular amongst the family, so we'll head over there, right?
Yep, just show up. Sounds like we're ready to make the engagement.
We'll get a carriage.
What's the plan? Turn up and ask him about this super secret society that he's a member of?
Absolutely, yeah.
He's not going to say yes, is he?
I don't know. We got on very well when I was younger. I mean, I assume the reclusiveness is totally unrelated to the secret society.
Why would you assume that?
I'm sure he's just enjoying the good life.
All right. Well, I guess we don't know what we don't know. We can only turn up and hope for the best.
I don't know a lot more than that, I can tell you.
I actually really love the boldness of this just approach Uncle Monty plan. So I'm going to say that with a bit of finessing from Eleanor, she persuades you to... you know how these things are done, Barnaby. You don't... obviously, you can show up where you want, but it's polite to send your card first to let Uncle Monty know that you intend to call. You're not expecting anything back, but actually, a day later, you do get a card sent to you by a messenger. It is a folded over piece of very expensive deluxe paper, and it is stamped with the blood red seal of the Fortescue name. When you break the seal, the letter reads, "Barnaby, my nephew, come join me for supper. I have a gift to give you. Although it is rather heavy, bring a sturdy valet with you."
Got it. Well, Zillah, how do you fancy a trip to the country?
I'm your sturdy valet, I said.
Yes. I mean, yes, basically. You're the strongest person I know.
All right, well, do you have a steamer trunk or something you want to port along?
Yes, can I strap it to your back?
Yeah, go for it.
It's elephant skin, you're not a vegan. You're not one of these modern vegan types, are you? Yeah, good. Glad to hear it.
Vegans in Volisport are people who don't eat elephant. Do you want to do any preparation, any learning, any information gathering beforehand? Is there anything you want to know, anything you want to scope out, anyone you want to talk to?
It never hurts to have a map. How well do you know the lay of the estate?
Not terribly well. I mean, I've never been to the actual castle, just to the manor. So yeah, perhaps some maps, some architectural drawings if they exist. I mean, it's a very old building. I should probably talk to some of my family as well and see if any of them have heard from Uncle Monty recently. So
I love both these ideas. Why don't you take one each?
Okay.
Zillah, you talk to Barnaby's family. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so Barnaby, you're going to talk to your family and see what you can find out, and Zillah, you're going to scope out some records of the place.
I imagine the castle is really old and
very old.
And it hasn't always been. Has it always been in your family, Barnaby?
As long as anyone can remember, I think.
Okay. Well, people have records of old things. I'm sure there's an archive or some sort of architectural society that would have a blueprint or two for historical purposes, right?
All right, but both of you roll me for your information gathering efforts.
Would it be consort, do we think, if I'm speaking to my family?
Sounds about right.
Good. I'll have 2 then. It's a 3 and a 1.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to survey at the records office, I guess. Some sort of archive.
Sure.
A reading room or something or other. And it's a 2 and a 6.
Well, we'll take the 6. We'll handle Zillah's roll first. So, you've got kind of 24 hours before you're expected to, make this appointment. In that time, you're able to get illustrations of the castle, which show a very foreboding complex, kind of vertically stacked up. It's all turrets and spires. In the illustrations,
keep the poor people out.
So I've got more concept art than blueprint.
You find some concept art of the castle, yeah.
Okay.
It's in the illustration, which is a sort of nice watercolor. Actually, this is a very, very, very old painting. It actually predates the Ghost Plague, so it's, hundreds and hundreds of years old.
Oh.
And what it shows is actually a castle that is very imposing, but seems to be the centre of a sort of rural community. It looks like a working castle, if you will. There are people like working in the fields. It looks quite nice. You also find a more recent woodcut of the castle that is much less flattering and much more creepy looking. In this more recent woodcut, it appears that the forests have become more sparse. You're not able to find any kind of interior blueprints of the castle, because I suppose that feels like kind of family security sort of stuff. But
yeah, that's fair.
What you do find is a sort of outline of the castle, which doesn't tell you much, but is remarkable because you had no idea that the castle was situated so perilously close to the ghost field, the crackling electrical ghost field, which is generated by lightning towers, which kind of keep spirits out of the Volisport district. So with these two bits of information together, I guess you can surmise that the castle probably fell to ruin at the moment of the Ghost Plague, when villagers were forced to flee into the cities
because it's right on the edge of the ghost force field.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And Barnaby, you're not able to find out much, as has so often happened to you. You go to speak to your parents, and it turns out they're holidaying abroad. But let's say you are able to have a chat with a footman, an elderly footman who remembers
Uncle Monty.
Who remembers Uncle Monty. All that they're able to tell you, though, is that no one's seen Uncle Monty in years. He does all of his correspondence just by letter now. And that people are afraid to visit the castle because of its proximity to the ghost field. It holds a superstitious terror for all who go near.
It's had a terrible effect on the property prices, let me tell you.
I can hear.
Is it still superstitious terror when there are real ghosts banging on a force field?
Yeah, these
That's
loopy
justitious.
locals. What are they?
Local colour?
Okay, all right. Barnaby, you need to send your card ahead of you. Is that
Sure.
protocol for you poshos?
Yeah, well, we've been invited now. I mean, we sent a card, he sent a card.
Right. The card
it's-
sending phase of this social
Yeah,
engagement is
absolutely.
done. I don't know the rules.
Cards fly
We'll make
back
a
and forth.
society person of you yet, Zillah. May take a couple more years. But
Finishing school, send me.
Barnaby's finishing school. Finish your drink,
no.
and then you finish your drink, and then you finish your drink again.
Finishing.
Yes, so I suggest we can either take the train up or a carriage, probably, whichever suits. We'll have to take a carriage the last part of the way anyway, but whatever you prefer.
Let's carriage the whole way then. Fewer changes.
Sounds good.
Sounds
good.
nice. Yeah, we
Fewer
can
other
strap
people.
the elephant skin steamer trunk on the top and
Got it.
we're away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I can do the driving.
brilliant. Let's do.
I'll do the sitting.
Oh, are you
and
going
the
to drive the
occasional
carriage?
sleeping.
Yeah, I can drive us.
Brilliant. Why not? Okay, so we're heading up to Castle Wizenshire. Choose one of 6 styles of plan and provide the missing detail. Is this assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, or transport?
Well, as far as we know, it's social. In that I'm planning on knocking on the front door
Yeah.
and asking for Uncle Monty.
Can it begin social?
Where it goes from there, I don't know. But yeah, I think in Barnaby's mind at least, it's just it's literally a social visit.
Cool. The detail we need is the social connection, but of course that's Uncle Monty, so it's a nice straightforward one.
Mm-hmm.
Character loads. How are you going in light, heavy, medium
Light.
in terms of kit?
I'm
Fine,
heavy.
light.
I'm the sturdy valet, and I've got a steamer trunk full of whatever
Full of
we
gear.
need.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Engagement roll. 1d for sheer luck. Particularly bold or daring? I don't think.
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment.
Not so far.
No. Does it expose a vulnerability or hit them where they're weakest?
Not
don't
really.
think
He's
Don't
weakest in his castle.
Yeah.
In his fortress on the hill.
Yeah.
No. I don't think we can fairly say he's weak there either.
No.
Okay, particular defences or preparations? No. Can any friends or contacts provide aid?
Yeah, I mean, no, Barnaby, friends or contacts?
No one lives locally, unfortunately. It's...
Okay. All right, well then
What about the servants the servants aren't?
I don't remember any of them.
You don't know the servants from the castle Wizenshire, do you? No. Okay, never mind.
All right, well, that's an engagement roll with 1.
Sweet
Six.
1 dice.
That
You only
seems
need
like
one.
not a
You
lot.
only need 1.
You only need
When
one.
you
It was
only
a
get
good roll.
When you only get 6s, you only need 1.
Yeah.
What about
Did
if
you
you get
sixes?
ones?
That's a 4.
Oh, that's
Okay.
That's not too...
Okay, let's say this. You rent a carriage and begin the winding journey up into the hills to the east of Volisport.
Nice.
To make your way to
Castle Wizenshire.
Castle
Is it misty?
Wizenshire, yeah.
Are we talking...
It's not misty at first,
Okay.
but all of a sudden you look around and gosh, where did this mist roll in from? And was it? Did you have the time right? It seems to be getting darker than you thought. There's supposed to be a full moon tonight, but it's the clouds are crowding in front of it. It's all getting a bit dark and scary. And I tell you, who can tell it's getting dark and scary is the horses. What do you have, horses? Or you have goats? You have goats.
Goats?
Yeah, goats. You've got the big goats that drive...
We arrived 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
Mega goats.
Your high stamina kind of mountain and hill goats.
Right.
That you're...
Okay.
This is an all-terrain carriage, then.
Exactly. It's, ATG, all-terrain goat.
Got it.
Well, I get all the oil lamps going, and all the whale oil lamps going to try and calm the goats.
Yeah, but as you get closer, you start to see Castle Wizenshire's looming silhouette out of the darkness. You're still quite a long way from the front gate when the goats basically halt dead and put their heads down, and you cannot drive them a step further.
Goats?
The animals simply refuse.
I try and soothe them with some of the sugar lumps that I was saving for the servants.
Okay, go on then.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to feed the goats sugar lumps.
Okay, I don't think you need to roll that. That's how I'll roll for the goat.
That's one of my load, isn't it? Sugar lumps, crikey. Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to tick off any load for sugar lumps.
They're very small.
I assume Barnaby by default.
Always
For the
has sugar
absinthe
lumps
as well.
in his pocket.
Yeah.
It's part of the absinthe kit that I also have in my coat.
One of the you do manage to sort of cajole the goats, and sort of inch by inch they creep further and further towards the large iron gate, which Zillah, you prepare to kind of hop down, but actually to kind of pull a bell or something, but as you approach the gates, they kind of swing open with a creaking. You can actually see rust flaking off the hinges. It doesn't look like these gates have been opened in a very long time. In the gathering gloom and the fog, your carriage pulls all the way up to the front door. The goats are very nervous now, but you have got the goats to the door, so
So
here
if you
they
need
will
a quick escape.
Here they will remain. Yeah. Well, there you
Right.
go.
We tether them securely, so there's no running off, goats.
Yeah. They look at you as if to say, "Damn, I was really hoping to run off."
Well, should we knock on the door then? Catch up with Uncle Monty.
Yeah,
Drinks and bridge.
yeah. Let's feel free. Feel free.
Spot of whist. That sort of thing. Okay,
Is that
I'm
something?
gonna.
Is that for me to do? Does the valet call? On
Well,
the,
I do have quite weak wrists, so if you wouldn't mind.
All right. I look around for a bell pull or something or other on the front door.
Yeah, there is.
We're in I'm imagining we're in a courtyard with the stables where the goats are tethered, the gates behind us.
Yeah.
I look for a sort of front door bell pull.
Yeah, there is a large iron chain hanging down from the front door.
Nice. I pull on it.
Yeah, it goes dunk 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 like that, and it seems like nothing has happened. But before long, you hear some echoing footsteps, and then the door swings open to reveal a large butler. And when I say large, I mean like we're talking 6.5 foot of pure butler. Yeah, this is he has a sort of thin pencil moustache.
Mm-hmm.
He looks down on you rather sniffly, and he seems to be fairly sort of bursting at the seams of his uniform. He's a big, strong guy, and he says, "May I help you?"
Yes, we're here to see Uncle Monty. It's Barnaby. You must have heard of me. I'm sure he talks about me all the time, actually. I was just wondering if you could be a good chap and go and fetch him for us, please.
Master Barnaby, last I saw you, you were only yea high. And he very slowly kind of gestures down with his hand to the ground, indicating the height of a small boy. I will take you through to the parlour.
Wonderful.
Your uncle is expecting you.
Would you like a sugar lump?
Yes.
I'll give you a sugar lump.
You feed it to him from the flat of your
hand.
hand.
Keep your hand flat.
Yeah.
Otherwise you'll get your fingers.
This way you don't get bit.
Yeah.
Yes, just before he turns to leave, he kind of looks over his shoulder once more and says, he looks at you, Zillah, and says, if your valet would like to wait in the servants' quarters.
No, she'll stay with me, actually. Yeah, it's we have this sort of modern progressive thing going on in the city where we do allow occasionally our servants to join us in the parlour.
The butler looks like he's been absolutely... I mean, he doesn't... Not a lot of emotion shows on his face, but he kind of just like twitches violently once at the thought of this and says, I will have to consult with your uncle. And the door slams shut again.
Are we still outside then?
You're still outside, yeah.
Oh.
A few moments later, the door opens again, and who is it, Barnaby, but it's only bloody Uncle Monty.
Uncle Monty!
Uncle Monty!
What an absolute pleasure.
Uncle Monty was a middle-aged man last you remember. You were expecting a sort of an old man, bent and bowed.
Shock of white hair, that sort of thing.
Exactly, by the passage of time. And yes, Uncle Monty seems to have worn the years well. He's straight backed. He wears a long grey cloak. He has dark hair, swept back, and a small pointed beard.
Uncle Monty, you must share your skincare routine. You look fantastic. You're absolutely radiant.
Barnaby, my nephew, my skincare routine is exactly what I hope to share with you this evening. It is good to see you, nephew. He extends a hand.
I embrace him. I'm not going for him. I'm not going for him.
Oh. As you embrace him, he is... Oh, gosh. Perhaps he's not as sturdy as he looked.
Right, okay.
No, never mind.
He explodes into dust.
You merely took me by surprise, nephew. Do not worry. Now, Bixton tells me that you wish your valet to join our dinner.
Yeah, so you're not keeping up with the trends. The trend in the city is to be very, very sort of obviously kind to your servants, so that no one thinks you're abusing them. It's the new trend, yeah.
The city. Pah. Well, she may stand outside the door and listen in.
Very well. That's a good compromise.
You must understand, nephew, that it is not just my conventions that we must adhere to. I have other company today.
Interesting. You must introduce me.
Yes, I look forward to it. Please follow me. Yeah, you both then proceed into a large foyer. There are staircases sweeping off in several directions. The place is candle lit. It looks like only a few rooms of this enormous castle are in use. There's an awful lot of furniture that is covered with dust sheets. That isn't covered with dust sheets is mouldering and going to ruin. It doesn't smell super fresh in here also is the other thing. There's a kind of lingering smell of mustiness and damp. From somewhere an organ is playing. Uncle Monty walks down several corridors. There's a lot of wood panelling, statues, chandeliers, most unlit, but a few sconces on the wall, that kind of thing. As you walk further into the belly of Castle Wizenshire, you start to hear the sounds of talking and indeed of revelry.
A party!
Uncle Monty pauses at the door and says, this is the great parlour. I'm afraid this is as far as your valet goes under, as I say, the normal social conventions. Do you want to try and like push this issue? Do you want to sort of force it? Do you want to try and get Zillah in? I'm going to need a roll from it if you want to.
No, I want to stand outside. I think it's a good. I think it's a good plan. Go along with it because then I'm not stuck in the parlour with all the stuffy posh people.
I'll try and sneak you out a drink then, Zillah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. We signal to each other silently that a drink will be on its way, and I'm still manhandling the big steamer trunk.
Oh yeah, of course.
I'm going to sit on it in the corridor.
Cool. That sounds untidy.
Pop a dust sheet on it, no one will notice.
Yeah, actually, yeah. You drape a dust sheet over the
well, we haven't been shown to a room yet, so I'm just holding on to the luggage until we're.
That's true. Yeah, Uncle Monty. Uncle Monty whisks you, Barnaby, into the room, but before he does, he nods at Bixton, the enormous butler, who turns to you, Zillah, and says, "I would be happy to show you to the servants' quarters." Or if you would prefer to stay here, I can have some dinner brought to you.
Bixton, that's nice. Well, why don't you tell me where Barnaby's going to be sleeping, and I'll take his luggage to his room and get him set up there. And then I'll come catch you later.
Very well. Bixton picks up the steamer trunk effortlessly, kind of under one arm, and
I take it off him. He's not taking my job, my fake job.
You do a few squats with it, just to show.
Bixton very slowly and deliberately lowers his head into his hand.
My steamer trunk. I hug it across my chest.
Fine.
It's got precious things in it. I've got to go lay out Barnaby's PJs for later.
That's one of your equipment load.
Yeah.
Bixton says nothing, but you just get the impression from the way he looks at you, Zillah, that he has taken what you just said as to be an inference that he might be looking to steal or pry into your steamer trunk. And as a career butler, he is extremely insulted and offended by even the suggestion. So very grumpily, Bixton leads you off. Let's say... Yeah, you are taken upstairs. There are many, many rooms here. You are led to one that is quite grand. There's a 4-poster bed in the middle, and an ensuite. And it is just as dusty and mouldery as everything else, but it looks like the bed has at least been sort of turned down. And yeah, we'll leave you there for a minute. Okay, Barnaby.
Yes.
You are taken into the parlour. What a difference it is in here. There is a convivial atmosphere, and people are lounging on sofas and chaise lounges. There is laughing. There is music.
Someone's cracked a window.
Someone has... Well, actually...
Or does it still smell bad?
You know what? It doesn't smell like musty and old in here, but it smells... I guess it's almost kind of... overripe. There's a huge long table, like kind of buffet table, that is like piled high with meats and fruits and cheeses, and everywhere you look, beautiful men and women are lounging on sofas and chaise lounges and fainting
couches. My people.
Your people, although your people. What do you want to do now?
Well, I ought to ask Uncle Monty what the occasion is. Uncle Monty, what's the occasion?
No occasion, my nephew. Merely these people reside with me permanently.
Really? You've taken lodgers? Is it getting that bad? I mean, upkeep on this place must be a nightmare, but really, Uncle Monty, you having to share your home? Why don't you just ask my parents for some help?
They, all of them, have contributed in their own way.
Right.
Please, nephew, grab a drink. Talk. Supper will begin before very long.
Very well. Thank you very much. And I'm not going to wait to grab a drink then, if it's offered.
Well, what are you having?
G&T.
So there's someone stood behind the table, a maid, and they make you a G&T. It's kind of warm. There's no ice, and there isn't a lime or a cucumber. It's not a great G&T.
No sugar lump for you. I drink it because Although I have high standards, not so high that I won't drink the drink. Tell me, I'm actually going to, because I'm ostensibly here on an information gathering thing. I'm actually going to address the help and say, so tell me, what's happening here? Who are all these people then?
The master's guests. You must be, if I don't speak out of turn, you must be young Master Fortescue.
I mean, you do speak out of turn, but you are also correct, yeah.
Yes, apologies, sir.
So these are long-term guests? They've been here a while, or?
Oh yes. Not all of them. But some. They, new lodgers join regularly.
And others leave, or what? I mean, what's the purpose of this? What do they contribute? Apparently, they contribute. I was talking to Uncle Monty about it, but can't for the life of me work out what they're contributing other than to the bar tab.
Oh, no one leaves, says the maid.
That sounds ominous.
Looking around and suddenly feeling a bit self-conscious, as if they've been doing a bit too much talking with the party guests that they're not supposed to. They make some excuse about the kitchen, the cheese, and sort of scurry away to do some busy work.
Very well. All right, I'm going to glide around and I'll have a look. Let me survey the party guests at the moment and see if there's anyone that I might recognise or not.
Yeah, okay.
I have one in survey, so...
Well, let's see how it goes.
Yeah. It goes quite well. It's a 6.
A 6? Okay, brilliant. Yeah, Barnaby, you are so accustomed to social situations. Your eye takes in this party in an instant.
Totting up the predicted wealth of every person in the room.
Exactly, and the predicted
safe in
wealth...
the knowledge that it's less than mine.
Yeah. The predicted wealth is pretty high. Everyone here is wearing jewels and finery, but what really strikes you is that actually they're all rather unfashionable. It's powdered wigs. It's
gauche.
It's quite a lot of makeup. There's like little red sort of blusher.
Yeah,
and clothing that is very, very fine, but hasn't been the fashion for some time now. You cut a very different figure. They're all frills and bright colours and jewels, whereas actually the Volasport fashion is a little more understated.
Was it fashion within my lifetime, or is it even older than that?
If you really, really think back, you can sort of remember like grown-ups dressing like this. This is like how your mum and dad used to dress in your earliest memories.
Okay. And do I recognise any faces? I mean,
No, actually, you don't recognise any faces at all, which is another thing that's odd for someone who moves so frequently and so effortlessly through Volasport society. You don't recognise any of these people, which is odd because they all look like they're the same age as you, very much in your kind of peer group. Young, beautiful. They're sort of laughing and feeding fruit to each other and, chuckling away.
Okay. Well, shall I approach someone? Maybe? Have a chat? Mingle?
Well, as you approach, let's jump back to Zillah and find out what's going on with Zillah.
Right. I'm having a good industrial strength poke around in the room, first of all.
Okay.
It's a guest room, but I'm just checking there's no, hidden peepholes.
Hidden Mickeys.
Yeah.
Yep, all right, go on then. Have a peep.
All right, I'm doing a survey. Just having a look around the room. Laying out Barnaby's Jim Jams.
Yes.
I got a 5 and a 6.
Okay, yep, well, we take the 6. You do a really thorough search of the room and do an absolutely cracking job of laying out Barnaby's PJs. And you do that with such evident care and professionalism that Bixton, the butler, it looks like he was ready to basically kind of stand there and watch you all evening. But actually, he seems satisfied that you are clearly a diligent and competent valet. And
because I did a pyjama origami.
The pyjama origami, of all pyjama origamis. He says,
it's a swan. It's shaped like a swan.
It's always a swan. He says you must teach the staff here how it's done. We would be honoured to benefit from your wisdom. And leaves you to it, basically. It says, I'm off now. I will take some supper and make sure all is well with the party and the staff. Please do not leave the room if you wish to wait here. As I say, if you get hungry, you can come down to the servants' quarters, but otherwise, please do not venture further than that.
Oh. Nowhere else. There's nowhere else I can go in this castle. Just here in the servants' quarters.
Bixton has told you not to wander off and explore the... which I think is reasonable. But Bixton has just told you that, and now Bixton has left.
Yeah, well, I know that. I just wanted to feel out if there's anywhere in particular he didn't want me to go.
Oh, I see. No. If there was anywhere in particular that you're not supposed to go, Bixton has been doing this long enough to know
The
not
secret
to...
lab.
Yeah. Please don't venture into the
dungeon.
What if the beast hadn't told Belle never to go in the West Wing? She probably never even thought to look at it.
She'd have gone to the East Wing, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, good, fine, but I'm alone now, finally.
Oh, and yes, there are no peepholes or anything weird in this room.
All right, good. Just
I
looking
mean, the
out for
whole place is weird, the whole vibe is weird, but there's
looking
no...
out for Barnaby, you know.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, in that case, obviously, I sneak out of the room as soon as Bixton is down the hall, and gonna head back to the foyer,
Okay.
and avoiding detection.
Mm-hmm.
Start
Snooping.
Yeah, snooping. Just get my snoop on.
All right. Make me a roll for Operation Snoops.
Operation Snoops a lot. Okay, let's call that. What are we gonna call that? A survey again. I feel like it's a sort of a stealth survey of the premises.
I feel like, I mean, if you can make the case, you can roll whatever you want, as always. But my feeling is that there's.
A bit of a
I feel like from the
prowl.
way you described it, I think the sneaking is maybe the more vital.
Okay, all right. Well, then
aspect
we're
of
going to do a prowl.
Okay.
I'm going to do a prowl around the premises with reference to the concept art that I researched earlier.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That's going to inform my snooping,
Yeah.
and that's a 3.
Okay. Yeah. You begin the prowl.
Okay.
You make it down to those kind of like large sweeping staircases and make it back down there to the foyer. From here, the house kind of sprawls off in all directions, but
It's huge.
but the area that like in the illustrations, there was kind of one part of the castle, because you've only seen it like basically from one perspective. Both of the drawings were done from the basically where the gates are, because none of these artists were permitted on the grounds, obviously. So there's basically a whole half of the house that you haven't seen, and it's the half that kind of backs onto the ghost field. So that feels like, you know, maybe, as you say, with reference to your drawing, that's where your snooping takes you.
Yep.
However, as you round your very first corner down one of these corridors,
Here it goes.
you walk smash into a maid, into a woman who's carrying a tray of drinks.
Yeah.
And it crashes to the floor very loudly, and she looks very alarmed and looks right at you. And at this point, we'll jump back to Barnaby.
Sashaying across the room. I'm going to go and chat to someone.
Yeah, you sit down on an empty stool that's upholstered with plush, deep red velvet. Across from a beautiful young man and a beautiful young woman who are kind of lounging, talking to each other on the chaise longue, and they both look over at you expectantly as you sit down.
Might I introduce myself? I'm Barnaby Fortescue, the third. Yes.
Fortescue.
Couldn't help but I'm Uncle Monty's nephew. Yeah.
He said you were coming. How charming to meet you.
Yes, likewise. I must
He
admit,
extends a hand for you to kiss, which is
Give
an old style of greeting.
Okay, well, I guess I kiss it, I suppose.
The hand
It's
is cold.
dusty.
The hand is kind of clammy.
Now, I've got to ask. I've not seen you around the city. I mean, we seem to be roughly the same sort of age, but do you not visit the city? Is your social circle here, or? I mean, you seem perfectly well off. I'd have imagined you'd travel a lot. But...
The city. Tell me, does Bexington's still do those marvellous breakfasts.
Oh,
Bexington's has been closed down for a while now.
yeah. Not for many, many years. Was that your favourite haunt?
My mother told me of it. She said it was spectacular. Let's talk of something else. I grow so very weary of this conversation. So tell me something fun. Tell me something funny.
Well, I mean,
Tell me a joke. Should we have a joke, Agatha? Yes, let's have a joke.
all right.
Let's have a joke.
How many paupers does it take to change an oil
He's
lamp?
already laughing. Keep going.
3, 1 to change it, and the other 2 to put the fire out. Because poor people are not very clever.
He laughs, a sort of long, wheezing laugh. Very droll, very droll. That is good. That is good. As I say, marvellous to meet you. My name is Arthur.
Arthur, lovely to meet you too, Barnaby, as mentioned. What brings you here to Uncle Monty's? You're living here? You're lodging here? You're a long-term guest?
The fabulous food, the fabulous company. Uncle Monty is a visionary. He is the next great light in society.
Oh, really? How so? I mean, we've barely heard from him in years. It's the first time I've seen him since I was a boy.
Isn't he incredible?
Yes. I mean, he was very kind uncle when I was younger, but beyond that, I've barely seen him, really.
Listen, I'm only telling you this because you're so funny.
I am quite funny.
He saved us, really.
Really? How
Yes,
so?
He at this point, Agatha, the woman he sat with, sort of lazily kind of like bats him and says, Arthur, talk about something funny, talk about something fun. Do a song or a dance or something. She's sort of shutting him up. And Arthur says, oh, sorry, Barnaby, I don't see what seems to have come over me. I'm awfully tired. May just close my eyes for a minute. And Arthur just kind of lies back. Like that. Seems to doze.
Okay. Well, very strange people in this place. I might go back to my quarters maybe to freshen up and perhaps see if I can track down Zillah on the way.
Cool.
Before dinner, which is happening soon, right? But how soon?
Dinner must be happening soon. I'll tell you what. Let's leave it to fate. The number on the dice will be is how many seconds it is to dinner. No, the number on the dice will roughly indicate dinner proximity. Okay, that's well, that was actually a 1, which makes me think that the dinner bell is about to ring.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's say
that's fine. I mean, if that's the case, isn't it? So.
You head for the door, and then there's a ding 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 ding.
Okay.
Fine.
Well, it would be rude to leave now, so I guess I'll head over to find Uncle Monty and see what the dinner arrangements are. Is there a dining room?
Uncle Monty is stood in the corner, nursing a large glass of red wine. Nephew, are you having a wonderful time? Did you enjoy talking with my friends?
Yes, Uncle Monty. We shared a joke. It was hilarious. Is everyone here okay? They seem very tired. It's quite early. I mean, we've not even had dinner yet.
Weary from... I suspect you will shortly see everyone perk up a little bit, Barnaby.
Right.
Perhaps including yourself.
Really? Okay.
Yes. I'm rather excited, Barnaby, about what I have to show you tonight. I think you're going to find it rather energizing.
Very well. Is that a before dinner thing or an after dinner thing?
Oh, it's an after dinner thing, Barnaby.
Fine.
Nephew, you always were a keen mind. That's why I thought you would be such a perfect guest for our little soiree. That and your strong friend. Follow me through into dinner. Uncle Monty leads the party through a door into the dining hall. It is very long, very high, very pointy in every way. There is an exceptionally long table, and Uncle Monty takes his seat at the head. Barnaby, you're kind of like down the middle of the table, and I think at this point let's cut back to Zillah before dinner begins. In fact, Uncle Monty says, there were supposed to be drinks on the table when we sat down. And now we're back with Zillah. All those same drinks are all over the floor.
All right.
The maid looks at you and says, you're not supposed to be here. I must go get Mr. Bixton.
No need for Bixton. He told me to come and help you with the drinks, and I'm very sorry that I've now smashed them all on the floor, but so it goes sometimes. How do you do? I'm Zillah.
Very nice to meet you. I'm Edith.
Edith?
Yes, we're going to be terribly late for the drinks for dinner, but the Lord, he doesn't...
Edith, chill, it'll be fine.
Jill!
Yeah, it's Edith.
You've not worked in this household.
No, I'm new here.
We must hurry back to the kitchen. We've got...
all right,
we need more drinks.
All right, let's go and get some more drinks.
All right. The least you could do is help me now, frankly.
All right.
In the dining room, no help at all. I'm like, Uncle Monty, I am dry.
Yeah, what's going on? What's the bottleneck with the bottles?
All right, we hurry back to the kitchen.
Yeah.
On the way, I'm sort of working Edith for information.
Okay.
And there was a lot of drinks, Edith. We got a lot of people here tonight. I didn't realise there was an event happening. So it's something social. What's going on?
It's not an event. There's always this many people.
What?
It's a catering nightmare.
Oh no. Oh, Edith, I'm sorry.
Yes, I should think so too. Hurry, will you?
All right, I'm hurrying. It's a long way to the kitchen. Okay, fine.
It is a long way. It's a long way everywhere in Castle Wizenshire.
Okay. What are they drinking? These people?
Everything. Anything.
Oh no. Okay, all right. And who are they?
Oh, the Lord Master Fortescue's friends and acquaintances.
Oh, okay, fine.
He's known some of them for years and years and years, I'm told.
Oh, okay, all right. And what do you think of them, Edith? As we continue to sprint down a very, very, very long
Tom Cruise sprints down the I'll keep my head down.
You'll give yourself a stitch.
The rules are no asking questions. I don't make the rules, I don't break the rules.
And what do you think of Master Fortescue?
That's a question.
Okay.
Yeah, you're. If you want anything more, I'm gonna need a roll from it, or you can sweep into the kitchens. It's up to you.
All right. Let's go into the kitchens.
Cool. Edith power kicks the door to the kitchen open. There are people in here, but again, in terms of signs of life, it's not exactly a bustling and happy hearth.
Okay.
There are several staff in here. There are several maids, housekeepers. You've got an under butler, cook obviously, and some cook's helpers, a footman or two. That's kind of all your Downton Abbey ranks and roles.
Got it.
Yeah, and they're all sort of going about their jobs. Bixton is sat
in the
there.
kitchen? Really?
Yeah, Bixton's eating.
Okay.
Bixton's having his dinner.
Oh, okay.
Bixton looks up and says, Miss Zillah.
Bixie. Yeah, we're here to
Bixton,
pour
please.
some drinks. Replacement drinks. I smashed some on the way here, so I'm helping Edith replenish
Clumsy.
the drinks. Yes.
Clumsy, Edith. We've talked about this, haven't we, Edith? Idiot girl.
Hey now. It was entirely me. I'm the clumsy one. Me, Zillah.
You knocked over these drinks.
Yeah. I've smashed into Edith, didn't I? Come around the corner.
You will have to have a conversation with your master about how you pay for them.
Oh.
These glasses were crystal.
Oh, yes. I feign contrition.
All right.
Imagine that.
You're learning, Zillah. You're learning what it is to be a society person.
Cool. All right. Yes.
I'm sorry for the crystal, Bixton, but let me help Edith get the drinks back double quick time, and then we'll call it even, along with the money.
Bixton shakes his head, but it's fine. One of the other members of staff kind of nudges Bixton and says, "Oi, Bixton, shouldn't we be offering our guest a drink?" And Bixton turns and frowns and says, Yes, I suppose so. Miss Zillah, would you like a drink, or can we offer you anything?
No, I'm all right. I'm fine.
Very well.
But I do want to help Edith. I do want to get the drinks back to the poor parched posh people. So.
Sure.
In the dining room, I break into the absinthe that I have in my coat because I'm tired of waiting for a drink now.
Yeah, that's fine. You pour it through. Well, this is what the sugar cubes are for, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of,
So that's one of my equipment load. But.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's one of your few equipment loads.
Yeah.
Yeah, is on your bottle of absinthe.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got some left. That's fine. As you go to leave the kitchen, Zillah, while you've been having this conversation, Edith has been kind of like restocking her tray with new crystal, new glass.
She's cocktail shaking and whatnot. Yeah.
The valet who spoke up before, offering you a drink, it looks a little nervous and put out and says, "Bixton, shouldn't our guest have a drink?" Bixton. Well, how do you respond to that, Zillah? Do you respond to it? You don't have to.
Oh, I'll be back in a minute. And I'll have a drink. I'll have a cup of tea. Strong. 2 sugars.
The man seems relieved and glances at Bixton and says, I'll have cook prepare it. In fact, I'll prepare it myself.
Very kind. Thank you.
Yeah, right. Now, glasses. The hurrying is back on. Edith hurries you through to the dining room. And you enter through a servant's door. It's different to the way that Barnaby came in. Edith gives you the tray and says, "I'm behind now. You'll have to give these out. I assume you know. I assume you know where to put them."
Oh yeah, obviously. Yeah. Obviously, I know Edith.
Cool. And
I bustle into the dining room with like a very loud clinky tray.
Yeah.
Clink 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 clink.
You bustle in just as Uncle Monty is giving an address to the assembled
drinks. I've got drinks. I say, who wanted drinks?
There is a total
me,
silence.
please.
There's total silence apart from Barnaby.
You bellow across the room, the very, 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 very long room, and I clink up the dining hall. Clink, 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 clink.
Okay,
clink,
you
clink, clink,
you're
clink,
you're interrupting Uncle Monty's speech, and he's not happy about this, but propriety demands that he remain civil and cool-headed.
Drinks. I put drinks down. Drinks.
Yep.
Drinks. I sort of just place them. Drinks.
I sort of lean over to Zillah and say, "We need to have a quick chat at some point. I'll excuse myself shortly."
All right. I'll be around. I'm making friends with the help. So find me.
Oh, don't do that. No. Don't get attached to them. That's what I always say.
Okay.
Just when they have to be turned into glue.
Yeah.
So, Zillah, you're just kind of plonking all the drinks down.
Yep. Drinks. Sort of blissfully unaware of the interruption, I guess.
Sure.
Blithely unaware. And then
Uncle Monty sort of looks daggers at you as you walk past, and he says to the servant standing behind his chair, "Fetch Bixton, will you?"
All right, and then I bustle back out of the dining hall.
Bustle back out of the dining table. Yeah. What do you want to do from here? Let's say you are briefly alone.
Oh, Edith is gone. Edith is gone. Okay, great. Well, in that case, I pick a direction that's not the kitchens, and strike out in. I'm going to try my luck in the direction of the ghost field. The ghost field.
Make me another prowl roll.
Okay, I'm going to prowl some more. Let's try some more prowling. Okay.
Don't forget you can push yourself if you really want it.
I can push myself. Let's push myself. Because I'm very, very bad at stealth. I can't believe I haven't learned this over the many, many weeks. But stealth is not my strength. So I'll push myself at the cost of stress, right? So,
yeah, at the cost of 2 stress.
Cool. All right, let's prowl some more. Hup. All right, it's a 5.
A 5. Okay,
a 5
great.
is my good one. Yes.
Right, yes. It seems that everyone else in the house is now kind of occupied.
Yeah. I'm aiming to get lost because it is such a big castle and that the staff is quite small.
Yeah, and get lost you do. Here's what you discover. Let's say that you actually get to spend a fair amount of time now, because that was a 5, right? Yeah, kind of going through the rooms of the house. What do you find? You find a ballroom. A huge ballroom. It's, again, all of the furniture is, like covered in dust sheets. And also in here, there is a large amount of mirrors, all covered in sheets. It looks like all the mirrors in the house have kind of were brought here long ago. Some of them are broken deliberately. It looks like some of them are just kind of covered. What else do you find? You find Uncle Monty's private chambers.
Whoa, jackpot.
Yeah, exactly. They're up a spiral staircase. They're in the top of a turret.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually a reasonably kind of compact room. It just has a huge sort of gothic four-poster bed that's like quite a lot taller than it is wide.
Okay.
It's got little gargoyles on the corners. In here, there's his stuff. There's books. There's what look like diaries. There's notes.
Oh, boy. Okay. All right, I steal a diary, and in case I get caught, so I'm going to take a diary.
Cool. Do you want to leaf through it now?
Well, no, because I want to I want to take a diary.
Okay.
And cram it in my jumper or something. Yeah.
Cool.
In a pocket, and snoop on. I don't want to get caught anywhere.
Okay.
So there's a desk, right? There's documents, diaries.
Yep.
Anything else in the room?
There are also on the desk. There's like there's drawings of kind of like glyphs and runes and like scratchy writing, and it appears that Uncle Monty has kind of written a speech about the grand reopening of the castle. And the speech makes reference to like in its wonderful new form and like renovated and complete again thanks to our illustrious but secret benefactor, and it's weird because the castle is not open and is not nice.
It's not renovated.
It's not renovated. It's like the opposite of renovated. It's denovated.
This is weird, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, there's that. But you're taking the diary.
I'm taking the diary.
That's
I don't want to
cool.
get caught anywhere. That would be bad times.
Yeah. Well, you rolled a 5.
Yes.
So I'm going to say that you're not caught, but as you we said it was the top of a spiral staircase, right?
Yeah.
So
That's
as you're kind of like leafing through things, and as you shove the diary kind of in a pocket of your jumper, you can hear kind of heavy footsteps coming up the stairs.
That's the problem, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
All right. Yeah, let's stay with you, Zillah, for a little while.
I look out of the window at the turret.
Okay.
We're in a turret. I look out the window. Is it? It's a long drop.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. Well,
but you've got amazing upper body strength. Presumably.
I do have amazing upper body strength. Is the thing. So I climb out of a window and hang from my fingertips.
Love it. Let's roll for it.
From the ledge. All right. Well, it's a strength. It's a strength.
Yeah, it's a
move.
strength.
Okay.
It's one of your strengths.
But yeah, obviously, as someone who does 100 chin-ups a day, it is basically no big deal. So I'm going to call it what am I going to call it? See, I think wreck is the closest to any sort of strengthy kind of deal in Blades. So I'm going to roll two dice for it.
That's fair.
All right, a 4. 4 is my
4.
Yeah.
Okay.
I fall to my death.
No, that's success. That's success.
You fall to a maiming.
That's success.
Yeah.
That's success with a complication.
Yeah.
All right, here's what we'll
Broken
say.
nail.
You leap out the window and hang by your fingernails, like that, and you're kind of pressed against the stone face. You're trying not to look down, because it is a long, long way to the sort of desolate and sparse castle grounds beneath you, and between there and you are an awful lot of other spiky turrets and pointy bits of Gothic architecture that you could easily be skewered and destroyed on were you to fall. But you're hanging there. Inside the room, you hear someone walking around. You hear the heavy footfalls. You hear Bixton's grumbling voice. You hear
his lurch-like footsteps.
Exactly, the lurch-like footsteps of Bixton.
Okay.
Where is she? Where the bloody hell is she gone? He looks around the room. He cannot find you, but he closes the window.
No. Oh, no. Okay, fine.
Was it smelling a bit too fresh in there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Too much fresh air and sunlight getting in.
Too much cold. At this point, let's jump back to Barnaby.
I'm buckling up for this speech that Uncle Monty's about to deliver, and I'm very curious as to what it's going to be about.
The speech is all but ruined by Zillah's interruption.
Unbelievable. How far did he get?
He got as far as welcoming everyone to another one of his little soirees. He repeated the line he used to you, that he hopes that everyone will find it energising, and everyone apart from you, Barnaby, kind of smiled as if it's some private joke. And he said he was about to say, and welcome my nephew, young Barnaby, to our proud ranks. He will be an invaluable asset to our cause, I have no doubt, and I can't wait for him to see the... And at that point, Zillah walked in.
Oh, well, yes. Keep me
you're
guessing.
Sat there making small talk. The food is brought out. It's not very good. It's like everything is... Like the food that's supposed to be hot is too cold, and the food that's supposed to be cold is kind of warm.
Warm gazpacho soup.
Yeah, exactly. Ugh. But everyone else is, just kind of chomping it down.
Okay. I politely sip my soup and eat my grey meats and things like that, but try and eat the minimum possible and try and top up the rest with absinthe.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm going to have to speak to Uncle Monty about this at some point and about what he keeps alluding to. Is now a good opportunity, or actually, you know what? I should probably excuse myself and go and try and find Zillah.
Okay.
So I'm going to make my excuses. Terribly sorry, but after that farrago earlier, I need to go and remonstrate with my valet. So I'm going to just pop out. I'll be back. Terribly sorry, awfully rude, I know, but really, she needs a stern talking to. So I'm going to pop out and have a poke around the castle myself and see if I can track down Zillah.
Of course, nephew, you must. It's so important to keep them in line. But
well, I'm so terribly sorry if I offended you. So.
But don't be too long, nephew. We'll be back before the end of dessert. We wouldn't want you to miss a second.
Very well.
Of what I hope will be a rather spectacular after-dinner entertainment.
Okay. Fine. I'm going to pop out and have a poke around the castle myself, and assume that people won't be quite as rude to me as they are to Zillah in this place.
Yeah, that's a safe assumption. In fact, you don't have to roll prowl to walk around wherever you want. You're a guest. Yeah, so what do you want to do?
Well, I don't know that Zillah's disappeared off anywhere, to be honest. So
No.
I'm gonna stroll back to my quarters and see if she's there. Have a poke around. Maybe open a window there, because it probably smells quite bad, and I So just so I'm going to get a good night's sleep tonight, I'm going to go back to my quarters and see if Zillah's there and open a window.
Tell you what, you've not actually been to your quarters, and no one's shown you where they are.
Right.
So make me a roll to find them.
Okay, fine. That will be a survey, and that is a 6. So
A 6.
Whoa.
Okay.
I've been in a lot of very, very
Yeah.
posh places, and I can find the guest quarters in an instant.
I'll tell you what. Not
This
only
is not
do you
my
find
first rodeo.
you find your guest quarters, and actually while you're there, I mean, there is a little drinks cabinet here. You may as well freshen up.
Absolutely, yeah. Take away the taste of the grey meat.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. But worst luck, there's no ice here up here either. Maybe there's a ice bucket in the cupboard or something. You open the cupboard, and are rather surprised to find that there is a garment hanging there, a long hooded red robe.
Well, these haven't been in fashion for years. So I'm not sure what he's... is it a dressing gown? It's a dressing gown. I understand. Right. Okay. For, smoking and things in your room. Fine. Yeah, dressing gown. Seems reasonable. It's going to take me a little while to put 2 and 2 together.
Fine.
But I am going to open that window just because I want some fresh air in this place. It smells awful.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you go and you open the window. You wouldn't say the air is like fresh, but it's certainly cold. Zillah, you hear a faint creaking.
Yeah.
From somewhere else in the castle. You look down and some
Vertiginous below me there's a tiny window swung open. I'd like to use one of my special abilities, not to be trifled with, with which I can push myself to do one of the following. Perform a feat of physical force that verges on the superhuman, and that's the one I'm interested in. Mm-hmm. I'd like to shimmy my way by my fingertips around the ledge of this turret, drop onto a flying buttress, very gothic, and then slide down the flying buttress and clamber around towards the guest room where I know Barnaby is staying, having been there previously. Yeah. And then from Barnaby's perspective, he opens the window and I come flying in through the window.
Yeah, okay, that sounds awesome.
Having leapt from a flying buttress.
So how does this power work exactly? Do you still need
I have to
roll?
Push myself. So it's a push yourself, but
Is it a free push yourself? It's a free push yourself.
I don't know. I think I still.
I feel like it
still uses the push yourself mechanic, but you can push yourself to do something that
would be completely impossible.
Would be
otherwise.
silly to ask for under other circumstances.
Okay, all right. So take 2 stress for the pushing.
I will.
Because you pushed yourself though, you do get an extra dice.
It's better pay off now, because if it doesn't, I will be very sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. All right. I got 4, so I mean, 4 is the better one. Yeah.
4 was the better one. Okay.
Yeah, 2 was the less good one.
All right. Here's what happens: you shimmy along, swing yourself up, kind of back and forth a little bit, gaining momentum, and then you even do a cool flip as you land on the buttress.
Yes. Slide.
And slide. Slide like a very, very, very gothic Tony Hawk's manual, kind of down the edge of this. Down the edge of this thing. Yeah, and the open window is just ahead of you.
Yes.
As you slide down towards it, it's not your fault at all. Your slide is perfect, but this roof is so knackered and old. Your foot actually goes through like a tile, and you end up kind of like sort of stuck up to your kind of thigh. You're easily within kind of like jumping distance now of Barnaby's window. You're close by.
I yell.
Yeah.
Barnaby.
Yeah, Barnaby. You look out the window. Yeah, you see Zillah is kind of on a steep sloping roof nearby, with one foot kind of stuck in there. Yeah.
I'm stuck.
In fact, the side of the building that you're on now, you can both of you see the ghost field kind of crackling in the night.
My hair stands on end.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's hair stands on end a little bit. Yeah.
I suppose I ought to find some sort of rope to toss to you. Presumably these are the sort of curtains.
Look in the steamer trunk. I packed rope. There's rope.
Did
in
you?
The steamer trunk. I always pack rope.
Okay, fine.
You find 50 foot of good hempen rope.
Yeah.
Take that off your load, Zillah. But,
I will.
It's right there in the room. It's brilliant. Yeah. Okay, Barnaby. All you have to do now is get that rope to Zillah.
I do have 2 in finesse, so
well then, it should be no problem.
Should be no problem at all. I'm gonna toss the rope.
Throw it
to Zillah. That's 2 ones.
Oh! You throw me the whole rope.
I take a swig of absinthe for luck and throw the
rope. Okay.
No.
What happens, Barnaby? What happens, Barnaby?
Do I go out with the rope?
You sort of accidentally throw yourself. You're so kind of focused on getting your eye in that actually you end up treading on a bit of rope, and when you throw it, you just kind of tip like that, sort of out the window yourself. You fall about 10 feet onto the same roof that Zillah's on, but whereas Zillah just, ended up with one leg stuck through, you're going to crash through the whole roof.
No.
Yeah. Zillah, you can just see like a kind of Barnaby, like snowman, snow angel shape kind of. Yeah.
Man. This castle sucks.
Yeah, this
terrible disrepair.
Yeah, and it seems almost as if like this part of the castle, this roof, is like somehow even more degraded and rotten than the rest of the place. Barnaby, you fall for a very long way and land in pitch darkness on a bare stone floor with a kind of sickening crunch. It's your ankle. You've rolled it pretty bad. I mean,
oh no!
You got off luckily. You got off easy. I think. Like
you landed on your ankle.
Yeah, all of your weight went onto your ankle, and yeah, it's It's sprained and hurt pretty bad. So that's level 2 harm, which means
I think I roll at a minus 1d disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
So
okay.
I'm going to be even more useless than usual.
No.
Good news.
Ouch.
Okay, all that overindulgence.
Okay.
Really punishing. Okay.
Right, yeah.
Zillah,
Yes.
you've just seen Barnaby vanish into
All right.
the gloom.
Yes. Where did the rope go? Where is the rope?
The
What
rope
is the
is
status
tangled.
of the rope?
The rope is tangled around Barnaby.
Oh no.
I should really have tied it to the 4-poster bed before I threw it. shouldn't
Yeah,
I?
really.
Yeah.
Really. So.
No,
okay.
I'll tell you what. Let's say you did that. So currently the rope is kind of swinging free, loose,
And then going down the hole.
out the yeah, and then going down the hole. Why not? Yeah.
All right. Well, I free my leg. I attempt to free my leg.
Yeah.
And
That's okay.
crawl very carefully across
Mm-hmm.
this rickety old roof towards the dangling rope, and abseil down the rope into
Cool.
the darkness below.
Cool. That feels like a roll, but this is very much more in your wheelhouse. So let's say you're doing it from a controlled position. So
Yeah.
as opposed to a very uncontrolled position,
Yeah,
Right.
which is where Barnaby was rolling from.
All right, let me roll for that. It's a 5. I'm going to call it.
Yeah,
It's
cool.
a strength roll.
Absolutely no
Skirmish.
problem.
No, a wreck. Wreck roll. There we go.
Yeah, brilliant.
Well, that's
You,
not destructive, but anyway.
It takes you a little while. You kind of have to. Your leg is maybe like a bit more sore from the roof than you thought it would. So like this takes a little bit longer. This isn't the kind of like 3-second kind of
Yeah.
SAS abseil.
I use
that you-
entirely my upper body and arms and no
Yeah.
legs at all while descending the rope
Exactly.
because
so, you
my
know,
legs are sore.
it's slow, but it's a feat of great strength. But you know what? The slow climb gives you an opportunity to look around in this room that Barnaby has fallen into.
I get my dark vision. I mean, not literal dark vision. My eyes
Yeah.
adjust to the dark.
Your eyes adjust to the dark, and what you see is
It's a very broken
A pile of Barnaby.
you see the crunched up bone
Crunched
heap of Barnaby beneath you, kind of moving around
Barnaby.
Ow.
slowly.
Ow.
Oh, okay. I hear him.
Ow.
I hear him making pained sounds, so I know he's
Yeah.
not dead.
You also see, you also get a good look at the room. It is unlike any other room in the castle. It is a large circular stone room. There are kind of sconces in the walls. In the middle of this room is a kind of block. As you descend closer, it kind of resolves out of the gloom into what.
Can I do a mini little flashback here? Just a mini,
Yes, of course,
mini
yes.
flashback.
Yes,
does
please
the
do.
circular chamber, does it remind me of something that I learned from my colleagues in the gang? Didn't they find a blueprint of a circular
Oh.
machine or something?
Yes, they did.
I
and
compare it in my memory banks to
Yes.
to what I'm looking at now.
you
Is it the same
compare it in
thing?
your memory banks. The thing that was found by Barnaby and Edvard and described, well, that is shown to you.
Yes, I've seen it. Yes.
You've seen those diagrams. That was for something much bigger.
Oh, okay. All right.
And much more mechanical in nature. This room, there's
not
nothing
mechanical.
mechanical about this room.
Oh.
It's almost kind of medieval. In place of, there are no cogs, no light bulbs. There's just
Ceremonial sort of
ceremonial is the vibe.
vibes.
Yeah, the stone block starts to look more and more altar-like as you descend, and a little way up from the ground floor, there's a kind of stone balcony that kind of runs around the length
Alright.
of the room.
I'll do another mini flashback then because
Yeah,
my
fine.
memory is faulty.
Yeah.
I while I was hanging from the turret window waiting for Bixton to leave, I with my spare arm I read
Yeah.
the diary. Did it
Oh.
reference?
Okay.
Did it reference anything in this chamber? Did it reference a ceremonial chamber or a ritual or anything that I can connect what I'm looking at to?
Yes, what did you find in the diary?
What was in the diary?
I
You...
love the idea of you hanging by one hand and turning the pages
passing
with a thumb.
time.
Well-
Passing time on the turret. Yeah.
Using your mouth to turn the pages.
Yeah.
Which you're able to do because you're so strong. Although it's just one diary, it's quite a sort of chunky thing, and it does go back quite some time. Monty doesn't date his entries. I guess it's just a diary for like him. It's just but it must be years and years worth of writing here. You find the entries to start with were all about how he kind of had a sense of like he was sick of society. He was sick of the falseness and the and you know the sort of like the snide looks. He was annoyed that House Fortescue didn't have a higher status. It has a high status, as Barnaby's told you many times, but you know, for some people it's never enough, and one of those people is Uncle Monty.
Okay.
So to clear his head, he retreated to the castle. The next few pages are about a kind of going through the rooms, clearing stuff out. They explain that he started to hear a voice as he was clearing the house out, as he was exploring deeper and deeper into its depths. At first, he thought he was losing his mind, but then he found that actually something wonderful was happening. These were visions. He was receiving visions and advice from what in his diary he clearly assumes to be some kind of deity, perhaps. He says that only he could hear the voice, but it persuaded him to do what Monty describes as taking the first step. After that, the next entry says, well, I did it. We're switching to Monty voice now. Well, I did it. And as the voice promised, it worked. It was faint, but for a moment. Physical form. It emerges from a puddle of blood. I was terrified, but I looked down at my hands, and exactly as it promised, they were the hands again of a young man. I have to tell my friends about this exciting development. I have to know more. I have to see where this takes me. That's all the diary you had time to read.
Brilliant.
Good amount of diarying, though.
Yeah. Juicy.
Yeah.
Okay. And I touched down on the floor of the chamber.
That's fine. Take 1 stress for the diary flashback.
Yes.
All right, you've touched down. You're with Barnaby.
Oh, Zillah, I'm so glad you've arrived. I'm going to need some help to stand up, and not for the usual reasons.
Upsy daisy, and I grab him by the underarms and
Okay.
hoist him up onto 1 foot.
Cool.
Ow. Is there anything in the room that we could use to maybe just fashion a splint so I can actually walk around properly on my rolled over ankle?
That's a good idea.
Good thinking.
Or how about a really tall candelabra as a crutch?
Yeah, that's great. There's loads of candelabras.
Okay.
Candelabra
yeah.
for days.
I'll use one of those then.
Alright.
Yeah, brilliant. They're arranged kind of around the centre of the room in a sort of
Is there a
ominous
bloody
circle.
pool? Now that I know what I'm looking for, is there a pool that might at some point be filled with blood or have been filled with blood?
Great question. You look to the centre of the room. The kind of stones, the kind of circle. They all kind of like converge towards one sort of like central kind of disc. There isn't a puddle of blood here at all, but it smells bad.
Smells bloody. Smells irony.
It smells like something real horrible here took place and has been like cleaned up, but like
oh no,
over and over again.
Barnaby.
Don't look at me.
No.
I didn't do it.
Barnaby, your uncle is into some bad stuff.
Oh, yes. I started to get a bit of sense of that actually. Yeah, it's this strange thing.
There are vampires in your family. I just want to put that out there.
I mean, it's a possibility. It genuinely is. I mean,
vampire strand of the Fortescue family.
Yes, they're all looking very young, but acting like very, very old people. The fashions are way out of whack.
Yeah. Well, he's been having. Read this. All right, pass the diary.
Okay.
The good bits. I just here.
The juicy bits.
Here, and here. Yeah.
Yeah, the juicy bits.
Yep.
Well, that all sort of adds up. Oh, and there was a robe in my quarters. Wasn't a dressing gown. Clearly some sort of culty religious robe type thing.
Oh no.
Got it. Right.
Okay.
Makes perfect sense.
Speaking of robes, as you are kind of like pouring by the only light in this room is from the hole in the ceiling and the moonlight
A
streaming
Barnaby
through there.
shaped hole.
the Barnaby-shaped hole. Moonlight, the faded moonlight coming through there. But all of a sudden the room is flooded with a yellow light as 2 big stone doors swing open at the end. And Uncle Monty strides in at the head of a huge group. It's the same number of party guests. Oh, you've been spotted.
Oh, no.
Well, you know what? I'll say the door swings open. They're all... You get the merest glimpse of everyone is wearing those red robes. I'm going to say, Zillah, you have a split second to act if you want to try and do something before you're noticed, but like we're talking like...
Oh, okay.
You're in the middle of the room, the door's open.
Did we say there was or there isn't a pool?
There wasn't.
There's no...
There isn't a depression or anything like that, okay.
There is a kind of like shallow stone depression, there's no blood in it at the
Not
moment.
to hide in.
There's an altar. The altar's stone, though, right?
Yes, there is a stone altar, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Alright, well, I sprint over to the altar.
Cool. Make me a roll
Barnaby, bye, good luck.
Make me a roll to get behind it in time.
Alright, okay. Prowl? I don't know. Skirmish? Skirmish? What does skirmish
actually
mean?
feels vibe-like to me.
Vibey, right. Okay, let's go with that one. Okay, 5 and a 4, so 5.
Yeah, you and slide and behind the stone altar. Amazingly, you do manage to get back there, you think, before anyone's seen you. With a complication, in the rush, you're kind of panting and you look down and you realise that you're still holding the candelabra that you were fashioning for a crutch.
For Barnaby.
Yes. Barnaby, you're kind of... Barnaby, you're sort of flumped on the floor.
Okay.
Uncle Monty, he's the only one with his hood down. They're all holding lit candlesticks.
Nephew, here you are. We couldn't find you. How did you find your way in here?
Oh, Uncle Monty, I had a little too much to drink and I fell out of the window of my chamber.
What happened? Are you injured?
Yes, my ankle, I turned it over.
Oh, nephew,
it's
no.
extremely painful.
Uncle Monty kind of kneels. It takes him a while. He's creaky, despite looking kind of young. And he kind of kneels down at you.
Oh, nephew.
Is it bad? Tell me the truth. Is it bad?
Nephew.
Yes?
It couldn't be better. You couldn't wish for a more perfect wound for a demonstration of the great power of our Lord Ixis.
At the mention of the name Lord Ixis, or everyone else holds up their candles and goes,
Lord Ixis! Soon, nephew, that ankle will be right as rain. Have no fear at all.
help him up, and working together, because they're all very weak. They all manage to sort of, help you up. And they sort of carry you up some steps onto that stone balcony I mentioned, that's kind of like raised up a little bit from the room.
Nephew, how fortuitous. Now you will get the most wonderful first-hand experience of the great power of our Lord. You know, at first, when I moved here, Barnaby, I thought I was losing my mind. But no, it was something much more wonderful. Lord Ixis himself speaking to me. A god he is, and he is a god, Barnaby. You will see his great power.
Good job you didn't lose your mind then.
Yes, very much so, but as you can see, I've never been more sane, Barnaby.
I'll take your word for it, Uncle Monty.
Bixton.
He calls for Bixton, and Bixton, who is not wearing a robe, kind of walks in with his head bowed.
He's wearing something though, right?
Bixton's wearing something.
Okay.
Bixton's wearing the same clothes as before, he's just not wearing the red robe. Bixton looks deeply upset, clearly not loving this, whatever it is going on here.
Bixton, bring me that valet that young Barnaby brought. Young Barnaby, she was strong, wasn't she? I remember she was strong. Yes, fellows, we shall be regenerated tonight with her strength and her power.
At this point, Bixton obviously bows his head in shame, and it is immediately apparent that he has lost the valet that he was presumably supposed to bring.
But I can hear all of that from behind.
You can hear all of this. Monty's.
Oh no.
Monty's like ranting and raving. I would say is
okay.
Yeah.
At volume.
At volume, all of this is with wild arm movements. Yeah.
And how many followers does he have, Monty? Oh, Monty.
Let's say 30.
30.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a lot to fight, even for you.
That's a lot. Even
That
if they
feels
are
about
crumbly old widows. Yeah.
Yeah, Bixton lowers his eyes to the floor and says, I'm sorry, my lord. I don't know what to say. I lost track of her. I last saw her for certain in Barnaby's suite. Lost her, says Monty. Barnaby, you don't know where she could be, do you?
No, I've not seen her actually. I was looking to find her to tell her off for interrupting dinner, but I mean, she's gone missing. You know, so difficult to get the help these days.
Ah! Curses. And yet it must be tonight. Bixton, bring someone else.
Bixton sort of visibly shudders, recoiling, perhaps having feared this, but ever dutiful, does retreat. In the moments that follow, Barnaby, Lord Monty explains more about the great Lord Ixis and the power that he has to grant youth. But it's not long before Bixton comes back, and in his powerful arm is Edith, the maid that you bumped into, Zillah.
Bad day for Edith.
She looks like a deer in the headlights. Bixton leads her down the stairs into the centre of the room.
Oh no.
And starts pacing
Barnaby's
around.
having a crisis of conscience because on the one hand, his ankle hurts quite badly,
Yep.
and this person is a servant. On the other hand,
Wow, I didn't know that was going to be... okay, yep.
on the other hand, he doesn't actually want to see her sacrificed for his.
Well, who said
benefit.
any? We don't know she's going to be sacrificed.
It's strongly implied, right? It's strongly
How
implied.
strongly implied at this point is Edith?
Implied by the fact
in
that some of her
bad
blood
trouble?
is going to be out of her body.
Well,
Potentially quite a lot.
well.
Enough to rejuvenate 30 people.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
Okay.
I'm going to say, Uncle Monty,
Yes, nephew.
unless I've misread the situation, you're
Yes.
planning on using this servant's blood to rejuvenate us. Is that correct?
From her weakness will come strength.
Well, I simply
Enough
can't.
for us all, fellows! And the others go, yes, Ixis!
Well, we can't put servant's blood in. Surely not. We need something higher class, you know.
I was just about to leap out from behind the altar, but I feel like Barnaby's having a real moment. Like
Yeah.
he's really having a breakthrough, so I wait.
Okay.
It's just going to be poor quality blood. I mean, have you
Oh.
seen? Look, have you seen her? She's basically wasting away. And honestly, you folks can't hack a party. You're all falling asleep. Maybe you should be getting some better quality blood. I think we should regroup in maybe a month's time, next full moon perhaps, and try again with some better quality blood. Get something imported from the city, perhaps.
Barnaby. My God. Of course. It's so simple. The quality of the blood will tell. Of course.
If
Theodore.
being extremely posh has taught me anything, it's that, you know, being, hereditary wealth and things like that, it just flows to the best people, and I think we need some of that, really, to be honest.
Yes. It could work. Fellows, do you hear what my nephew said? Wasn't I right to bring him? Wasn't I smart to invite him? Yes, they all nod. Yes. Barnaby, he's right.
They all start talking excitedly. This idea is immediately catching on Barnaby. Obviously, you know, they're all kind of wealthy socialites, and Monty kind of looks around them and says,
Hoods down. Let me see who you all are.
everyone says heads down.
You, Cyrus. When you came to me, you were on the verge of death. How old are you now?
One of the beautiful young men says,
95, Monty, I think. 90, or is it 98? It's hard to keep track. I've been here so long. Yes. Well, you've been here the longest. You've had a good run. Who says we use Cyrus's blood?
this is catching on.
You're a sweet boy, Barnaby, but we can't afford to wait a month. We won't last.
Suddenly, with a kind of frightening mob mentality, all of these kind of hooded figures are like kind of slowly, they're kind of like putting hands on the one called Cyrus, who starts to wriggle kind of ineffectually, but not very, and they tip him over the balcony, and Cyrus kind of falls down here. So now, Zillah, on the level you're on, is Cyrus, the youthful-looking, very old man in the red cloak. There is Bixton, who watches this, but continues lighting candles in a circle around.
Okay.
Nearly lit them all now. And Edith, who's just stood right in the middle.
Okay.
Edith isn't going to do anything.
Okay, and where am I? I'm sort of behind the stone altar.
Yeah, you're a little ways away.
Cyrus has fallen on the altar itself? No.
I mean, come on. He's got to be on the altar, right? That would only make sense. You're quite right. Let's say you're hiding behind the altar.
Yeah, and he's like, bam!
Yeah, and Cyrus just on top of the altar, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Hasn't noticed you, but you hear it.
Okay, cool. Wait, is the act of sacrifice him being thrown off a balcony, or are they going to come join him and then do him in?
Who can say? Nothing's happening yet, except Cyrus is just sort of moaning, but it looks like Bixton now, he kind of gestures to Edith.
Edith, right.
Edith, for God's sake, run. Back to the kitchen with you.
Oh,
Edith kind of...
Okay, good. Edith is safe, in the clear. Good.
Edith scurries out the room,
Great.
and with a private prayer, Bixton lights the final candle and steps hurriedly away from up on the balcony.
Now, nephew, behold. Behold!
Okay, so here's the layout to refresh.
Yeah, great.
Stone balcony. The Richos are up on the stone balcony. In the circular stone floor below, this room, kind of at intervals, there are candles that have been lit. Inside that circle is the altar that you're hid behind.
Yes.
And Cyrus, who is on top of the altar, kind of wiggling around feebly, going, "No, my friends! My friends, all of our parties, I've known you for years and years, you can't. You know.
I lean over to Uncle Monty and say,
stuff.
He had a good innings.
He had a bloody good innings, Barnaby, yes. Now, you watch that ankle of yours and you see what happens.
From the kind of centre of this kind of circle, you all start to hear the room kind of seems as if it starts to tremble, and as the sound rises very slowly, as the low rumble continues, Monty leans over to you, Barnaby, and says,
"This is only possible, because of our proximity to the ghost field. Some things can come through, Barnaby. Even a god, even Ixis."
And the little candles that kind of and the room suddenly just kind of like jet up into big pillars of flame and kind of form a wall. They sort of shoot outwards, kind of forming a, let's call it an octagon, of wall of flame, which you are inside.
I'm inside it, yeah.
Which you are inside, Zillah. You're hidden behind the altar, so you can't see, but Barnaby, you can see, with a kind of weirdly loud glooping sound, a sort of puddle kind of appears in the centre of the stone floor, kind of like a sort of undulating kind of thing. It looks pitch black, but as the wall of fire kind of illuminates the room a bit better, you can see that, of course, it is sticky, gross blood. And it gets larger and larger and larger. And two huge clawed hands start to kind of like push their way out of the puddle of blood. And out comes a head as well. Monty leans over to you, Barnaby, and says,
"Of course, the first time I saw him, he was barely visible. It's taken a great deal of sacrifice to get Lord Ixis to this stage, and I can only imagine where he will go next. He's promised to use his powers of regeneration to regenerate the Fortescue name, Barnaby. You and I, people will once more respect us. They will bow. This crumbling castle will become a fortress that people will stare at in awe."
More ranting and raving, that kind of thing.
I do find respect is overrated compared to just money, but go on, enjoy yourself.
Sure. You say that, but he's Uncle Monty is just kind of like straining out, just like sort of staring at what's unfolding. And a long snout kind of pokes its way out of the puddle of blood next. It's got rows of teeth. It's a kind of elongated kind of wolf's head. It's big. The head is maybe like the kind of snout is maybe sort of like yay long, kind of like
All right.
4 feet.
Can I step in? Because I really don't like the way this is looking, and I don't think it's going to get better before it gets worse. So.
Yeah, how are you going to step in?
Well, okay, I leap out from behind the altar, holding the iron candelabra like stick that
The crutch.
I was fashioning.
Yeah.
The crutch that I was fashioning into a crutch.
Yeah.
And terrified, I smash the wolf made of black liquid goo in the snout with it.
Oh my god, that's brilliant. Okay, well you'll have to roll me for it.
Okay, yeah.
Can
of
I
course.
recommend pushing yourself? Can I recommend taking devil's bargains? Can I recommend doing whatever you can?
I'm very stressed is the problem. I'm on 8 stress.
8 stress.
I'm on 8 stress. And 9 is like...
I
9
spot
is
that
cool.
Zillah is about to fight a god, and I use
Yeah.
another bit of my equipment load to take another drink from the flask.
If you were expecting the cavalry to...
I also,
Yeah.
because obviously all this like ghosty business is well above my pay grade, and I don't know anything about the arcane,
Yeah.
and really this is a job for Lilith in many ways.
Yeah.
But I did take a piece of broken mirror from the ballroom because I noticed all the mirrors had been stashed there and
Cool.
smashed.
Yeah.
And I took a large shard of it, thinking, well, maybe this will be useful. And I just like sort of show it to the wolf god in case it's
Okay.
and then I've got the iron candlestick in
Are you hoping it didn't know it was a wolf god? I'd be like,
I don't know. That's all, I get vampire-y vibes. I thought,
Yeah,
you know,
so.
mirrors, vampires. There's something, you know, just like, look, yeah, just to
Okay.
see, just an experimental.
Okay.
And if it
This is
doesn't
gonna
work,
be
just
embarrassing
stab
if
it.
it doesn't work,
Yeah,
but
stab
yeah.
it in the nose with it.
Yeah,
Hang
yeah,
on.
smash it with a candelabra.
I have to check a character sheet. 1 sec.
Ooh,
So you're on 8 stress, right?
I'm on 8 stress. I'm very stressed.
Yikes.
8 out of 9. Okay. Now here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
The mirror gambit,
Mirror,
I love,
candelabra.
but
yeah.
it's a flashback, and I'm going to have to ask 1 stress as the price of that flashback.
Oh no! See, when we were in the ballroom, I was like, I don't want to slow things down. I don't want to make a point of how I'm grabbing a piece of mirror right now, but I should have, because then it wouldn't be a flashback. It would just be something that I picked up.
It would just be a flash.
I would just be collecting junk along the way. Okay, fine. So that was a flashback, and so
Yeah.
I'm on 9 stress, right?
Okay.
Wait. Yeah, that's how flashbacks work. Yeah, you just pay for it. You pay
Yeah.
the price. So what do
Yes.
I do with 9 stress?
With 9 stress,
Are we talking
am I
trauma?
right? Am I right in thinking that you are 1 stress away from
Yes.
trauma?
Trauma.
The next
yeah.
stress
I'm
will be
on
trauma.
max stress.
All right. Okay. Brilliant. Yes. Yeah.
9 stress.
It's stressful, but yes, you remember you do in fact have a
Big ol' hunk of mirror.
little hunk of mirror. So what are
Yeah.
you doing? You're spinning out and you're showing the mirror to
Yeah.
to
I'm going. It's like two-handed. Elden Ring. I'm like
yeah.
candelabra, mirror.
Okay.
I don't
love
know
it.
exactly what I'm doing, but I'm trying a thing. I
Okay.
imagine what would Lilith do, and mirrors seem supernatural, don't they?
Yep, I love it. Okay, make me a roll.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, it's a wrecking roll because it's sort of a combat-ish approach.
Yep.
And so yeah, I attack the blood wolf god Ixis with a mirror. Huh. Oh, and I got a 4 and a 1.
Okay. That's okay. That's the weakest success.
The weakest possible success.
Okay, here's what happens.
Here's what
You
happens.
spin out from behind the
Ha-ha.
altar with your candelabra and your mirror.
Yes.
At the Lord Ixis, who's kind of like at this point kind of
Not fully
half-
formed, I think.
not fully formed,
So
halfway
more
out,
vulnerable.
halfway out the puddle. You haven't seen any
Yeah.
hind legs yet, but it's
Yeah.
kind of it's dragging its way out. At the disturbance, it spins to look at you. It catches sight of itself in the mirror, and for a moment you see its big red eyes go very, very wide, and then those eyes just explode
Whoa!
like that in 2 big gouts of
gore.
Oh no!
Let's say.
I'm
And the demon lord, for of course Ixis is not a god. The demon lord Ixis starts to flail around in maddening pain. Up on the balcony, Barnaby, Monty clutches the railing and leans forward and goes, "No! What has she done? Lord Ixis must never behold himself, for he is too beautiful. It would do him harm." And indeed, it looks like whatever Lord Ixis has told Monty about not ever seeing itself. I mean, it looks like it was true because
absolutely true.
Yeah, Lord Ixis's eyes have exploded. It's going to flail around so furiously. I don't feel like this dispels Lord Ixis. I feel like this hurts Lord Ixis so much. I'm going to make a roll for Lord Ixis. It'll also... Okay, that's a... Okay. Lord Ixis is in a great deal of pain. It can't see now. And the kind of head is thrashing about, and the great big claws are thrashing about with one huge kind of bloody clawed strike. It just on down on the altar and just absolutely smushes. Cyrus, yeah.
Oh no, Cyrus.
Yeah, Cyrus is just ripped clean in half with a little gasp.
I shout down to Zillah, "Don't worry, he had a good innings."
Oh, by the way, when this happens, everyone in the room, over the noise and the kind of demon screaming, you do hear a kind of dong, kind of loud bell sound.
That's bad news, isn't it?
Well, Uncle Monty turns to you and he says,
"Don't worry, they rarely come this far out, and when they do, it takes them a long time. It will all have been cleaned up. Lord Ixis will have had his way."
It's
the old ghost bell.
As Cyrus expires briefly from the big wolf claw, there is a kind of brief shining light, and actually, Barnaby, you do feel, your ankle. Hey.
Yeah, it's feeling better.
Actually, it's feeling good. You can put weight on it now. You're feeling more mobile. Similarly, everyone in the room is kind of energized. You know, they're. Some of that power, that wave of power is beefing them up. Zillah, it's also beefing you up. You've gone Super Saiyan.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you feel you feel the rippling
gains.
strength? You feel it in your body, like you can kind of feel like this is so not allowed. You're not supposed to feel this because this is like someone else's soul powering you up. Oh no. Like it's super naughty. But that just makes it all the more intoxicating.
The illicit gain.
Illicit gains, that's right.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you have a fresh and stronger grip on your candelabra.
And how is the octagon of fire that's hemming me in?
Burning.
Still
furiously.
burning.
Still burning furiously. Yeah.
Octagoning it up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, well I swing the candelabra at the blood wolf's head.
Dope.
Snout. Is it liquid? Is it sort of a liquidy wolf shape?
Yeah, you know, like it's not liquid, but it looks like it's moving underwater, like the fur kind of
matted
moves.
fur.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
the fur kind of moves all wrong and weird.
Well, it can't see me. Yeah, I take a big swing at it with the iron candelabra.
You feel like you have to roll me for this, but like however many dice you would normally add 2 more for the enormous
Sick.
close.
That head's coming
Cool.
off.
All
The
right.
enormous close-up power.
All right.
So yeah, just don't whiff this one.
Okay, Wolfie. All right. Well, we've got 2 successes, a 4 and a 5.
4 and a 5. Yep, great.
Yep.
You swing the candelabra down.
Two-handed now. Drop the mirror.
Two-handed. Yeah, you throw the mirror aside, and you're now two-handing it, which increases your damage by 50%.
I know.
Yeah.
I do a jumping attack.
Yeah, you do a jumping attack, and the scaling on this candelabra is a scaling. So, you bring this thing down through Lord Ixis's kind of just forming head, and you hear a kind of wet crunch, and the skull just gives way.
Whoa.
And just pops. The arms kind of like kind of flail furiously, and the whole thing kind of retreats down into the blood puddle.
Sweet.
The situation now is you are
Covered in blood.
covered in blood, kind of panting, visibly swollen with strength, holding the candelabra. Monty, you look up and see that Uncle Monty up on the balcony has fallen to his knees.
Oh! Yeah. Barnaby, I hold out my arms. Barnaby, jump!
Not again!
No.
I just fixed this. It's
a trust fall, come on.
Alright.
I hold out my arms.
I trust Zillah, even though it goes against my very nature to trust anyone poorer than I am.
Whoa!
But I jump.
I mean, the gang shares a fall. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you jump into Zillah's arms. That's not even a roll for you, Zillah. You effortlessly catch Barnaby. He's light like a bird.
Okay. Those hollow bones.
Yeah, you got him.
Full of absinthe. Okay, cool. Should we cheese it, Barnaby?
Yeah, I think so. Is there anything else we need to grab while we're here? I mean, as an information gathering thing, is the diary sufficient?
Well,
I think the diary's going to be sufficient.
I mean, it's going to have to be sufficient. Because we've got 30 weird cultists and your uncle to deal with.
Yeah.
Good work. So you managed to secure the diary, you managed to kill the demon god, and I broke my ankle. So we both helped, I think.
Well, now you got Cyrus killed.
Yeah, we got Cyrus killed, so...
Oh yeah, I have this weird feeling that I did something nice for the servant class.
Yeah, you had a real breakthrough moment, a real character breakthrough moment.
Barnaby takes trauma.
Haunted.
But right now I think it's time for sprinting covered in blood out of the castle.
Alright, let's test this new ankle out.
Yeah.
You know what? You both start running for it. Zillah, you quickly realise that Barnaby, even with a recovered ankle, is going too slow for the speeds that you're now capable of. And so you scoop him up under one arm.
Yeah.
And just with the
to
other
the goats.
With the other fist, you just smash the front door off its hinges.
Yeah.
The goats look up like, and you leap into the carriage and make good your escape from Castle Wizenshire.
Go goats, go!
And let's now skip to back at Eleanor's house. You're in the bathroom. Zillah, you're kind of stood in the bath, fully dressed.
Sluicing the blood off, yeah.
Exactly. Eleanor is kind of tipping buckets of water over you. Barnaby, you're taking the opportunity to go through that diary that you pinched. Flipping back, through the years, you can't help but feel a little sorry for Uncle Monty, and he was never that nice, but like, gosh, what a fall from grace.
Also, none of us are that nice, really, in my family. So
yeah, there you go. Uncle Monty was no better. It could have there, but for the grace of Lord Ixis.
Quite.
Go you. What you do find is the following. It is a speech that Uncle Monty has written to be delivered, and the title of the speech, which he's kind of written in a diary as a sort of aid memoir, is Brightner's Crimsnight Speech to Members.
My friends, acquaintances, fellow Brightners, it has been made clear to me that it is best to start these things with a joke. So, how about Lord Percival Fauntleroy's new hat?
Then the diary says, hold for applause.
But enough joking. It has been many centuries now since our group, the Brightners, a small group, a plucky group of wealthy alchemists, enacted their bold plan to capitalize on the limitless potential of ghost research, preventing the free exchange of magic and ghosts between our world and the next. Erasmus Astor, first of his name, a founding member, of course. They doubted it could be done, but Astor said to him, and I think we all remember his words, "It can be done, and if it can be done, done it must be." Well, friends, I don't need to tell you that all those years ago they succeeded. And though at first they wept as the world was shrouded in dusk, out of the gloom, marvels, great ships, tall buildings, locomotives, oscillotronic machines, devices all made possible with abundant and easily harvested spectral energy. And thus the Brightners bestowed their great gift upon the world. And wonders that once were the preserve of a lucky, magical few now can be found in any one of a dozen shops, can be invented and sold by anyone. Thus is humanity delivered by our work. I know, friends, that you know all of this. But what you may not know is how humbled I am every day that I can call myself a member of this great and proud society. And so, a toast to the brightness, to our secret and sacred mission, and to the barricade, may she ever spin.
And then it just says, toast, and then hold for applause. And that is the end of the speech.
Harnessing spectral energy, the barricade, secret societies.
Yep. These are all things you mutter to yourselves, but to yourself, Barnaby, as you as Zillah is sluiced. Okay, let's quickly do entanglements. +1 heat for a high-profile or well-connected target. Yes, very high profile, very well connected. +1 heat if the situation happened on hostile...
Wait. He lives out in a castle and no one's seen him for years. Not
And
that high
he's
profile.
secretive.
All right,
What's he going to do? Tell the
fine.
city guard that he was doing a blood ritual?
You've convinced me, I'll take it away. Yes. +1 heat if it happened on hostile turf. No, it didn't. +1 heat if you're at war. No, you're not. Add 2 heat if killing was involved. For the first time, I think, ever, we are adding the +2 heat for
Not the
killing.
first time ever. I pushed some people out of a balloon, didn't I, that one
You
time?
did, Barnaby, that's right. You are the killer of the group.
The Butcher! You see?
Yeah, Barn of the Butcher, yeah. Contained standard... I'm going to say this was loud and chaotic high exposure, which isn't the highest one, but that feels right to me. So
Okay.
that is 6 plus 6 heat. So you're now on 3 heat, and the wanted level is 2. So now I'll roll the entanglement. Roll dice equal to your wanted level, which is now 2. Read the results according to your heats. That is a 2 and a 5. Gang trouble or questioning. Okay. I'm just going to make a note of that, and we will see how that folds out.
Ha! Someone else has to deal with the gang trouble or questioning. Nice.
Gang trouble.
Good luck, next people.
Totally successful mission then.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but the next mission is going to be an all-hander.
No, we're going to be there.
no.
And they're going to ask questions about what
no.
we did.
The future problem is our problem.
I have a question. Is all my harm healed, or is just my level 2 harm healed, or what's the story there?
Why would any of your harm be healed?
Because of the blood
mystical
thing.
blood sacrifice.
My ankle was
You know what,
fixed.
Barnaby? All your harms are
Yay!
healed. I think that's...
Everything's looking up, Barnaby.
I feel great. Let's find someone else to sacrifice.
Yay!
I can see
I
why
don't think
Uncle
Lord
Monty
Probably
was so
inherit
soon.
that castle one day. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe you can bring Lord
Could have
Ixis back. That sounds like a good and chill thing to do. Okay, great work both. All right, Jane, right on the edge with the stress.
Yeah.
Pause.
Worth it.
Just
Worth it,
surfing
though.
that maximum stress cap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much room.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Don't forget to watch our D&D Oxventures as well. And if you really got a kick out of this and would like to support the work we do further, then you can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/oxclub. There's a Discord you get access to, which has an Oxventure sub-channel, so you can talk about everything that happened here and how Barnaby is the cold-blooded killer. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.